I'm pretty sure there was like potence and celerity stuff happening. Darby spins for celerity quite a lot. Sometimes just for comedic effect.
Look, I got to give the people what they want.
And with a blood pool of 20,
And
like
blood for the hell of it.
yeah.
Graham, I'm feeling awfully constipated today. I burned for celerity. Just-
Woohoo!
To achieve liftoff? Is that what? All right, welcome back to New Cammack. In the last session, Excavo used her newfound Auspex powers on the sword that had belonged to Darby's child, Jade DeWitt. Excavo discovered that after Jade ran away from home, she was hungry and hunting for blood when she encountered another vampire named Zed. According to information received from the now dead biker named Brain Bucket and the city's former sheriff, a Nosferatu named Bagger, Zed is the leader of a Sabbat biker gang called the Unholy Rollers, who are manufacturing and selling crystal meth in the city. Or at least they were, until Darby claimed to be working for Zed and destroyed their lab.
Sounds like something I would do.
Interesting move from someone who is dependent on meth being in his
Yeah,
time.
look, he's not much of a planner.
Well, no immediate effects from those actions. It would take a while for all the meth supply in the city to totally dry up, and that's assuming there won't be someone else manufacturing it. Excavo learned that Zed took Jade's sword from her and later gifted it to a biker ghoul named Tad, who was part of the group who attacked Palladian's church. Excavo's vision indicated that the sword was a runner-up prize in some sort of competition to win membership in a group. However, her vision did not give her any hints regarding what happened to Jade after she lost the sword. Our session starts in the lobby of the spacious downtown headquarters of Timeshare Condos Unlimited, where Darby, after trebucheting himself into the scene, burst through a glass wall to subdue a guard and steal his clothes, leaving him naked, as well as his equipment, including a radio, ID badge, and a submachine gun. Side note, I don't think I mentioned this in the last session, but when exchanging Darby's deadly chakram hat for the TCU guard's helmet, Darby's pet squirrel faithfully stayed atop his head.
Yes.
What was the cause of Darby's latest destructive rampage? Following the fight that took place at Father Palladian's church, Augustyn explained to Darby that a van of villains fled the scene and retreated to their lair, which were the correct words to use to ensure the valiant Ventru's enthusiastic participation. Also, this lair is one of the few leads that Darby can follow in the pursuit of his lost child, Jade. Augustyn and Excavo had both arrived just outside of the broken glass wall that Darby entered through, a la the Kool-Aid Man, just in time to overhear an exchange between Darby and a second unseen security guard over the radio. Darby has just impersonated the unconscious guard and explained that the sound of broken glass was from a crazy naked guy who stormed through the window, to which the unseen guard replied that he's on his way to check the surely hilarious security camera footage to see what happened for himself. Darby is now trying to talk him out of doing that.
So, no, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to see it. I was standing in front of him the whole time. You know, I had to get close to him, get him out. You know, protocol.
Yeah, man, that sounds really funny. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Hey, this is not funny. All right, like it wasn't funny. I'm at work today, and all of a sudden, this guy comes in, and he's deranged, man. I'm afraid for my life. And here you come on, and you're talking about using my trauma as a joke. That's some bullshit.
Oh,
Come
man,
say that to my face.
No, dude. I'm sorry. I'm just the way you described it. It just sounded funny. Should we get? Should I call? I can call an ambulance for you and call 50 to come pick him up. I could do that for you if you're.
Man, I need this shift to be over, and I need a stiff drink. All right, like I don't need an ambulance. I don't need any help. I just need it to be fucking morning so I can go home, get my shit right.
Well, Alpha Team should be coming back pretty soon for shift change, so we can go out. We can hit a bar. I'll call for. Is the guy running around? Is he causing trouble? I don't know if this is like an ambulance issue or a police issue. I don't know who to call.
So now you're just implying like I'm bad at my job? No, I threw him out. He's gone, man. He's just on the streets.
Okay, man. So it's resolved. You don't need help or anything. I guess janitorial staff can clean up, broken glass later.
Oh God, I just really not looking forward to that paperwork either. You know what? I think you've done enough, boss.
All right, Roger that. And you hear the radio like beep boop, like he's not, like that's the end of the conversation from his side.
Who is the closest person to me?
There's the unconscious guard, who I believe identified himself, or the other person on the radio identified him as Bravo 5, and Ovacxe and Augustyn have entered the lobby. So those are the only people that are in the lobby that you can see.
Did anyone see Darby pull that off? Because he's feeling so smug.
I watched it transpire, and I had my dominate abilities if they need them, I will
Just stop
dominate
Darby
here.
from doing something dumb.
Yeah, but both of them saw all of this stuff. Actually, Augustyn saw everything from when you landed in the street, from trebucheting yourself downtown.
Yeah, so if I'm just trying to get like fully back into the psychology here, but I believe that Darby thinks his shit does not stink, and that he can do no wrong. He's on a mission from God, and he's the hero that this city. I'm the hero this city deserves.
In fact, Darby's recently acquired derangement says, I think essentially he has to remain convinced of this, and any significant setbacks or failures or embarrassments that make him feel like maybe he's not the savior of the city will cause a frenzy check.
Okay, let's lean into self-delusion. I'm trying to get my mind to do the pretzel knot of doing the Batman and the Darby impersonation at the same time.
Batman with a little twang. Batman.
Hey, y'all, what's this?
He deserves.
Oh, what's this?
It's like a sling blade. It comes together a little bit of a sling blade effect.
Y'all
It's
better
like-
swear to me.
No. But like full of himself.
I want
God.
this version, this hillbilly Batman, like Batman, but Gotham City just happens to be in Mississippi. Instead
Jackson
of New Jersey,
City.
which is it's weird that Gotham City is in New Jersey.
You'd think that Batman would have a New Jersey like accent. Kind of like
That'd be
he's from
great.
Jersey. I'm Batman. Who you call a Batman?
I mean, some of the other denizens of Gotham get down that road a little bit, but Batman himself manages to be relatively
Just
accent
very
free.
Midwestern.
Yeah.
So now you have the run of the lobby.
So yeah, I'm looking around. I'm trying to, and if I know you explained this, but we're just like looking for traces of Jade, right? Like that's what's on my mind. I'm hero rescuing. I'm trying to get a lead on Jade because I think that this layer might have some information about her.
Well, the inciting thing was mostly that Augustyn told Darby, "Hey, there are bad guys in here. They're villains.
Okay.
This is a lair." But also, you know that Jade's sword was found outside of Palladian's church. Someone there that was part of the attack on the church had Jade's sword, and you know that all of the bikers are dead, but there were some other people at that fight that fled in a van to this lair, and they might possibly know something about how one of those dead bikers got Jade's sword. It's not a lot to go off of, but you suspect that there are people in this building that might know something that might lead to the whereabouts of Jade.
No, Honcho, I know that they know, and I'm gonna find out. And I am dutifully investigating. You know, looking around to the best of my ability. I'm not the best at that. I think we're probably doing it as a team. If my other partners have shown up, I'm just like, there's something here. Just keep looking.
Well, you look around and the lobby seems pristine. It's an extremely clean, very orderly lobby that's fully lit up despite being unmanned, other than the guard that you beat unconscious and strip naked. From the outside, you could tell that it was a 3-story building. Augustyn and Excavo would know that around the back there was a ramp going down into a basement level, assumed to be parking garage. So they would know that there also must be at least one basement level to the place. And you know that somewhere in the building there's at least one other guard walking around.
At least one.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Andy mentioned that Alpha Team is due to arrive soon for a shift change, sometime vaguely soon.
Have I taken any action to hide the body?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, well, I think that's priority number one.
It's a naked guy laying there.
Yeah, Darby worried he's going to have to talk his way out of another situation with these idiots that don't understand his purpose, and so he wants to, build the ruse. He's looking around to see if there's any convenient place to stash the body.
In the lobby, there's a big ornate fountain. There's a big statue thing, and it's in the center of a big fountain. And the water's probably deep enough to put someone underwater. There also there's big potted plants where the pot is large enough for a person to hide inside, but these pots are occupied by
soil
plants. There's also a receptionist desk that you could potentially put someone behind. And you also see doors on either side of the receptionist desks, suggesting that there's just something beyond there, some employee area.
So Darby goes and knocks over one of the pots and tries to take the tree out. He's trying to empty out the pot.
What's the most destructive way to solve this problem?
Well, so here's his twisted logic, okay? His current story is the naked guy ruse. And so, what kind of damage would a lubed up naked guy have caused if he really were responsible for this?
When did he get honestly lubed up? What?
This glistening naked guy,
okay,
I think caused all kinds of a ruckus. at this place. So I think Darby's thinking whatever damage he causes now, he can just blame on this other guy. He also knows now that there's security cameras, and he asks Excavo, or no, whatever the fuck you say it backwards. Excavo backwards. Hey, can you do anything about these security cameras? They told me they were going to look at this tape.
Yeah, I'm going to ask some questions here. Hey, man.
Can you do anything about security cameras?
Why are we... What? I see you looking at that plant. What's going on?
Oh, at this point, he's knocked over. He's emptying the pot. There's dirt everywhere.
Oh, God.
I got this part. I need your help.
Got this far to do what?
No, I'm going to put his body in here.
Your vibe is so wacky. I'm trying to catch up, man. What are you doing?
Hey, well, get on board with the plan, all right? Because I have got this figured out. Look, these assholes, these evil motherfuckers, know what happened to Jade, okay? And if we're fucking smart enough, if you can get on board here, we can figure this out. So here's what we know, all right? Fucking Alpha Team is coming right now.
Alpha Team, what?
Look, I beat this guy up, and he's on Bravo Team. I learned I'm doing like some investigation. What do you hacker people call? I'm like,
But you're a desk. What is happening?
This might be you haven't known Ovacxe for very long, and I don't think anyone knows that that's her name at the moment. But this would be the first time you've seen Ovacxe like bothered by something and not chill about it.
Not just like straight up cool with what's going on here, man. I feel like there would have been a better way to do it.
look, I don't know when you became such a fucking buzzkill. But we got a whole like situation. We got a rapport. Like we have functioned well together as a unit, and that's built on trust. And I just
really fucking hard.
all right. I mean, I've been there. That I can relate to. Okay.
Really hard.
We do not have a lot of time, but I'm gonna try my best to explain to you what is going on here. All right. So the only lead that we got.
Why the plant?
Okay, I'm hiding the body. Do you like? If they look behind this desk, they're gonna find this guy's body.
People only deserve to be buried once, man. This isn't the time.
Well, this is not dirt that I want to die on. So if this is what you care about, then put the motherfucker under the desk.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, like, look.
You're not giving enough credence to Pop Plan. I think Pop Plan was going to fly, but if you got a problem with this, and put them under the goddamn desk. We don't have time to argue. What we got to do is learn what these, and I cannot stress this enough, evil motherfuckers are doing
I need
with
to do
Jade.
something about what's been on tape here.
I'd like to briefly point out to Augustyn that a beautiful plant is being desecrated.
I did want to make sure that it was noted that as this conversation is happening, I am diligently stripping it of any seemingly seeded or bloomable components, and taking a few of it. If there are leaves or petals, folding them up and just getting a good one of my many good pockets full.
Stripping this plant bare?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are going apeshit. I'm just.
My man, what?
I'd like to point out one other thing. So the way Excavo's alternate personality thing works is she was so traumatized by being kidnapped and staked that it triggered an alternate personality that existed for the purpose of protecting her from harm. And mechanically, a bunch of dots on her character sheet shifted around from more Ovacxe specific things, more Excavo specific things to like combat worthy things, like physical abilities and skills and whatnot. One of the results of this is when Excavo switches to Ovacxe, she loses a significant amount of her like computer prowess. But in exchange, she's much more prepared for combat. I think it's fair that if this is something that Kimber, you think that Ovacxe is aware of and understands, you can spend a willpower point to force yourself back into the Excavo personality. And otherwise,
like on command, just like with willpower, just switch.
And taking a turn to kind of like focus and
seems like a lot of control for a Malkavian.
The idea that I have is so as you discovered, when Excavo takes damage, that triggers the switch to Ovacxe, and then the Ovacxe personality stays in control for kind of an unknown period of time until she feels like safe and there's no need to be protected anymore. I was thinking like definitely when you sleep, you always wake up as Excavo. But I think it's fair that since derangements in general can be suppressed with spending willpower, you can spend willpower to suppress the Ovacxe personality that has temporarily taken over. But there are like pros and cons to that.
Okay, I get that. Let's here. Okay, yeah. I'm thinking though, this is the first time she's like switched between them. She may not know that.
Well, so I mean, I imagine it playing out like you getting frustrated that there's this thing that you know how to do and you can't do it, and in reaction, you just like focus really fucking hard on your task, and that overcomes the derangement or the personality swap.
Sure.
If you want to leave it up to chance and roll for it, I'd say intelligence plus awareness would make sense. And for Ovacxe, that would be 6 dice. Standard difficulty.
Let's see here. Let's just roll.
A lot of successes.
Hell yeah.
Not bad. Okay. I mean, I, as a player, like to have, I see the excitement of the risk of it doesn't work out when I roll the dice, but also having the ability to just spend willpower to just switch back. I like having that ability.
Well, if I may, I don't know if this is, I guess this is by definition metagaming, but I just want to include this as advice from player to player. And I think I play this way. There's a lot of mechanics like that, Kimber, where you can spend points of some kind, whether it's blood or willpower, for these really powerful benefits.
Okay.
And like the game is built to have them have real value. Like one of the hardest things to role play for is an increase in your willpower, or at least it was in the old game that we would play, because there are so many really useful things that it can do. And having like low willpower, having spent all your temporary willpower, is like a scary, precarious place to be, because you don't have all those bags of tricks at your disposal. Okay. So I don't think you should feel like you're cheating or metagaming because you're getting a lot of value out of spending willpower, because you're supposed to get a lot of value when you spend one of your willpower points.
I was thinking the other personality was supposed to be a detriment to my character, not a benefit. This is sounding much more like a benefit.
Well, there are pros and cons. The Ovacxe personality is bad.
Right, I understand they're good at some things and not at others. So then, but having the ability to choose kind of which one to be in to do the thing that I need to do, that's pretty powerful.
Well, if this were your main Malkavian derangement, I think I'd be a little harder on you, but this was a derangement earned through a traumatic experience that you went through. So I'm comfortable with it how it is. It's of course entirely your decision / Ovacxe's decision of whether or not.
I like the ability to choose. If like, oh no, I get to choose.
In fairness, the
within the confines of it, yeah.
The proposal is Excavo can't turn into Ovacxe unless if she takes damage.
I'm in combat, which would probably be like the only time. Like if I take damage, yeah, that would probably be like.
Well, a lot of the times it'll be too late, right? Like if you're taking damage, things are going pretty bad, and you really need Ovacxe and have already paid some penalty by being Excavo and being bad at combat.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting that Excavo can just turn.
Right, it's the other way around.
Yeah. Willpower can suppress the alternate personality.
Well, the other thing, too, is if she spends willpower to suppress it for a scene or whatever, and then gets into combat during that scene, does she not get the benefits of getting it back? Like, is she...
a threshold to, like, how much damage is triggering for me?
And we don't know is a fine answer, but I'm wondering what that interaction would be.
Yeah, like what if I turned it off? What if I used the willpower point to fix the cameras, right? But then like 6 fucking guards come into the scene and they just
very possible.
And I'm switched back.
My inclination is you would have to any damage would switch you back to Ovacxe, so you would need to continue spending willpower if you continue being triggered. I might second guess myself and change that at some point, but that's what I feel like is more appropriate here. That feels like a bit more balanced.
Okay.
Or maybe it's even harsher for you, a player, if...
And I'm like, when can I be myself? When is it safe to be myself?
I don't know. Well, let's cross that bridge when we come to it. I think it would be more in keeping with how willpower plays with other derangements if spending willpower suppresses the derangement entirely for a whole scene, because that's usually how it works. I might just like roll the die for it if that ever comes up. Which
sounds fair.
It might come up right now.
Might come up now. Okay. So wait, how many willpower points do I have?
You have 3 of 5.
Darby is dragging the body begrudgingly over to the desk while she's doing whatever she's doing.
Covered in plant dirt.
Just casting side eye at. I hope they don't see this stupid that the pot playing would have played. This is a bunch of bullshit.
And Darby's clothes are just on the floor.
I think for now, but he notices them and tucks them in with the guy. Doesn't put them on the guy, but just throws them over the guy.
Okay. And does he throw the dirt back over the guy and the plant and everything?
Well, I thought Augustyn was rooting around with the plant.
Yeah, Augustyn stripped it bare. So you take the twigs and just lay them back on the pot?
You could build a nice little teepee out of the twigs. I don't know what creativity you want, but I worked hard for these leaves, sir, and I don't intend to relinquish them.
This is like a big, 4-foot plant. Maybe we'll say it's a big ficus.
Like a fake money tree or something. Well, okay.
Well, it sounds like Augustyn finishes collecting all the stuff that he wants for some reason.
Well,
Darby is finished putting the plant back in the pot. Is Darby trying to make it look like nothing has happened, like return it back to exactly how it looked before?
No. No, in fact, Darby is like making a point to make more of a mess.
Okay. Don't have to roll for that.
Like, are we here to find out information? I don't think there's anything in there.
But so I don't know if we make an investigation roll or what. But so we're looking around, trying to see if there's anything valuable to learn.
I assume there's like a natural like hallway to go like further, maybe an elevator, maybe stairs. Sneaky.
Well, you scour the lobby. Super boring. There's not a lot going on. And I actually have a map that I could load up here. Give me one.
Production value.
All right, so take a gander at Roll20.
Ooh.
And you will see Darby there, and Excavo, and Augustyn, and Paddington is, of course, following along. The evidence has been hidden of your crime. You look around the lobby. You don't see anything obviously of interest. You scour the receptionist desk. And
what about the fountain?
The fountain, the fountain, I described it before.
You were listening?
Well, it was months ago. There's a 15-foot tall statue of a smiling husband and wife holding the hands of their young son and daughter while being handed a set of keys by a professional-looking woman in a blazer and dress pants. These larger-than-life TCU customers are depicted in bronze in the middle of a circular fountain with water running gently out of the base near their feet and trickling into a basin a few feet wider than the sculpture itself. And you snoop around there, and it's just a fountain. You root around the receptionist desk. You find everything that you would expect, like some office supplies. There are 2 computers that are shut down. You see phones. You're not really finding anything all that useful. Is there anything in particular that you would be looking for?
Just a clue as to where to go next, and Darby would grasp at mad straws. So if there was anything that had like a floor on it, or he would look for, like mail at the reception desk, or in the elevator, he would look for an indication of a floor that gets more traffic, like smudges, fingerprints. And if he didn't see anything like that, he would just immediately assume that the most evil guy was in the highest floor. Or the lowest floor, depending on how they were labeled. Whichever one looks more sinister.
Okay. So, looking at the receptionist desk, there are phones, and the phones have a bunch of, what do they call them? Like extension buttons? Like buttons to specific offices that have been like with written out labels on them. And you see that, they're divided up by floor. They have like room numbers, and you see some start with 1, 2, 3. And the ones on the first floor, you see them labeled as conference room and a few other names of just people's names. You don't recognize any of them. There are 4 of them.
Okay.
So it seems like the first floor has 4 offices and 1 conference room. It looks like the second floor has its own receptionist desk and a bunch of other names of people, and also its own conference room. First floor and the second floor look kind of like the makeup of the 2 is about the same, but it looks like there's just more office space on the second floor. Third floor, you see 2 numbers. One of them is labeled security, and the other is labeled Stacy Hartmeyer. And looking around TCU, you see some evidence that Stacy Hartmeyer is actually the person, she's the president of TCU. You see like a pamphlet and some pictures. You see like a newspaper clipping on the desk that says something about like TCU president Stacy Hartmeyer sponsors Little League baseball team. And there's a picture of her like smiling in a smart blazer and like posing with a bunch of kids with baseball bats. And
he's like sneering at it and spitting like, this one, she's the most evil one of them all. She's the queen of this little hive of villainy. We're gonna hunt her down. I bet she knows what this whole thing is all about.
And those are all of the extensions that you see on the phone.
All right, so Darby's immediately like, all right, top floor, we're going to the boss's office. We're going to pay her a little visit. We're going to see what she has to say.
Can I tell, like, on the laptops who they would potentially belong to?
Well, they're desktop computers. There are 2 of them, and they look like they would just be used by receptionists, just who handles those.
I thought you were saying we had found 2 laptops in the drawer or something. Okay, never mind.
I may have, but I meant desktops.
Okay,
so Darby sees a set of stairs and also an elevator that could take him up to the 3rd floor. As Darby heading up?
Yeah, let's go to security. That's on the 3rd floor.
So Darby's thinking to himself, he's like, well, wait a minute now. They said there's cameras. Think they got them in the stairs? And he's looking at Excavo. It's like, should we take the stairs? What?
Let's go to security and.
Well, no, that sounds great. It's all on the same floor, but should we take this fucking death box here, or should we take the stairs? Leave ourselves an exit.
Let's go to the stairs.
Darby nods like, yeah, that's right. That's pretty smart. And then he leads the way up the stairs.
Okay.
So you see conspicuous security cameras in the lobby, but
I want to see a man with a squirrel on his head sneak around.
Oh, huh, yeah. The squirrel is hidden under a
hat.
Squirrel's just holding on to the hair, like.
Well, no,
I thought I did have a hat though.
A helmet, TCU
right in the hat.
Helmet on it.
Yeah.
He's
clinging on to.
Keep your head straight up.
There's muffled chittering from under the helmet. You open the door of the stairwell and you kind of poke around carefully, and you don't see any security cameras in there.
Just as I suspected. Darby starts leading the way upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not going for maximum stealth, but he's also not, tramping around either. Just being careful and quiet on his way up the stairs.
Medium stealth.
I relay my intention to Darby to loosely split the party, informing him that the ne'er-do-wells who brought to my attention the bad doings contained within this facility are most likely parked their vehicle in the basement. I would like to investigate that. So I believe Augustyn splits off to investigate the basement level.
Darby's just like, all right, man, whatever you want to do. just like,
we can just get the camera footage of the parking garage.
I got a bear. I have a bear.
Oh.
What are they going to do? They don't got a bear. Can they throw their bear? I can throw my bear.
Let's all hang out together, man. Let's all hold hands and circle left up these stairs.
You got to think, comrade, you must entertain the idea that, unlike Stalinist Russia, this is a meal. By you going upstairs and me being downstairs, we make a building sandwich that we might all collectively consume.
It's just like, what the fuck are you talking? I said you could go already. Damn.
I
Get
don't
to
even know
getting,
who-
dude. What the fuck? And Darby's like half a flight farther up the stairs. Like, okay, all right.
So Ovacxe sees her two companions going in opposite directions.
I'm still going upstairs. I want to go to the security area.
Okay. So let's start with Darby and Ovacxe on the third floor. Going to the third floor in Roll20. You go up the stairs to the third floor, and what you see, I apologize for the minimalist layout, but it's another big, wide lobby. But unlike the first floor, it is carpeted. It feels kind of comfortable. It doesn't seem like a high traffic area. It has the atmosphere of the general public doesn't go up here. This is just for some of the employees that have to be up here, that have permission to be up here. You look around, there are some potted plants. There are a couple like benches. It feels like a waiting area for being admitted into some important person's office. And down on the south side of the screen, you see a big important person's office. There are double doors leading into what is labeled as Stacy Hartmeyer's office. On the other side of the lobby, you see a door that goes into a restroom and a door that just goes into a hallway, and it's unclear what's beyond there.
Assuming the hallway is where the security office would be. I don't want to go to Stacy's office just yet.
Yeah, let's go to security first. We might have an unwelcome visitor.
They missed an opportunity by not putting a card swipe on the stairwell. So there's usually a card swipe on the stairwell. So whoever these security people are, they're not going to be very smart. So I might not need to even spend a willpower to change
We'll see.
Gavo to even handle this.
All right, Darby walks confidently into the hallway.
Okay.
All right. Let me.
I'm
Reveal.
tiptoeing. I'm not just like I work here. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Surveillance. That's what we want.
So you walk through the hallway, and you see in the back there is a big employee break room. And you see 3 rooms labeled equipment, surveillance, and conference room. And the equipment and surveillance rooms do have a like a little sensor for an RFID badge.
Which one do you want to do first? I mean, if someone's in that surveillance room, they might be just watching us right now. And Darby walks over with his badge, confident as the day is long, and taps it right up to the sensor and hopes for the best.
Opens up.
Okay.
Hi, this is Bravo 5.
Oh Jesus. Okay, we're doing this now. All right, man, we're
What's
coming
the
in.
situation?
Who are you speaking to? Are you yelling
I
like
don't
through
know
the door?
Yeah, he opens the door.
That's how
and
he opens the door.
Wait, no, I thought I had a badge from the guy that I incapacitated. He didn't have a
100%.
badge? Yeah. So I was using his badge and announcing myself as Bravo 5 in case there was anybody in that room.
Super loud.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's not, but that's what Darby wanted to go in confident.
Yeah.
You go in confident. You announce yourself and find an unoccupied room. There is, of course, a matrix of security camera monitors. You see a big, comfortable, high-backed chair in the middle for whoever's going to be monitoring all these things. You see a little mini fridge with snacks in it. It looks like a pretty comfy place to be posted up for a while, but it's a relatively small room, and you don't see anyone inside it.
So
Okay.
Darby takes a look around and tries to see if there's anything immediately useful that can be learned without having to know anything about computers. Because they're, anything on the
have
walls.
like 2 dots in computers, and I'm still relatively intelligent.
I mean,
Yeah.
2 dots is pretty proficient.
Yeah. Look around.
You don't see if there are any computers. They're hidden in the guts of the wiring of this wall of monitors. You don't see really anything that you can interact with other than there's a hardware interface in front of you with some buttons and a joystick, and it looks like you would use it to select a camera and pan it around and zoom.
Okay, I first want to just like look at all of the different views just to see if there literally is anybody else around. I can probably see Augustyn on the cameras as well. But I just want to actually get a verification of like who's here and who's not.
Excellent. Okay. So what you're looking for is movement. And you see there is, on the second floor, there is a single guard just kind of walking around lazily all around the office. He's checking something on his phone and just kind of like idly, doing his rounds. You don't see anyone else on the second floor. In the basement, you see... I assume unless Augustyn wants to contradict me, you see the door to the stairs cautiously open, and you see Augustyn start to like poke his head out. Also in the basement, you can't really tell. You don't get a sense of the spatial relationship between the different monitors, like if they're looking at areas that are close together or far away, but somewhere else in the basement, which is a kind of dimly lit. It was clearly a parking garage at some point, but it looks like it has been renovated to be something else. You see cots and you see lockers lining the walls, and in the basement, you see... Let me see. You see 2 guards in cots. One of them is bandaged up and looks asleep or unconscious. Another one is sitting up on a cot, and he's holding a the wad of gauze to his side, which is bleeding. You recognize this guard as one of the people who were in the van that you were chasing and shooting at. It appears that I think Augustyn was shooting at the van and did manage to hit one of the guys, but not fatally.
Okay.
You see a third guard in the basement. The other 2 have kind of like dressed down. They've taken most of their gear off. You see a third fully uniformed guard kind of tending to the shot one, and you recognize him as the driver of the van. And there is there's another monitor in the basement, and you see something rather strange in it. It's a much darker, unlit corner of the basement, and you see what looks like a few guys. It's just in the corner of the monitor, so you see that there are at least what looks like at least 2 more guards, but they're not dressed the same as the other ones. It looks like they're wearing big raincoats. Like if you've ever seen a security guard that's posted outside, sometimes at sporting events, there's like these ponchos that they put on the security workers. it looks like these 2 or maybe 3 guys hanging out in the shadows have like big ponchos on, and they seem like fairly heavy set. And
I bring Darby's attention to this and have him look at what's in the basement, and then also mention the guard on the second floor.
So, and to recap, Darby sees 3 normal guards. 2 of them are fucked up. 1 is tending to them, and then he sees a small cluster of some other kinds of guards, and they look like big dudes, like built like bouncers.
I go, wait, man, I remember those 3. Those are the ones that Augustyn and I were after earlier.
And Darby just looks over, just knowingly confident, like, yeah, that's what I suspected. And then he's like, why don't you learn what you can learn up here? That dumb motherfucker's going to get himself killed down there, and I have got to save that tree-loving son of a bitch.
Okay. Is there a way for me, just like looking around, is there a way for me to keep this door locked? Because I don't want someone else to come in.
You don't see a manual lock on it. It looks like it just automatically locks whenever the door is closed and has to be opened from the outside with a badge.
That guard might come up from the second floor and come in here. Okay. I've just got to
looking at that guard. You don't see a lot of. Looking at the guard on the second floor, you don't see a lot of like momentum. Like he's in a hurry to like. No. I'm saying like if you're trying to suss out, is this guard on his way to the 3rd floor, or does he look like he's kind of staying put?
He might come to the break room. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's not like imminently on his way to the 3rd floor. He's kind of idly, slowly walking around the 2nd floor.
Okay. Yeah.
And so Darby briefly considers stopping on the 2nd floor to feed on the other guard, and then realizes he's probably not a meth head, and therefore would be no good to him anyway. And so he proceeds through the steps pretty quickly, and his strategy is shock and awe. So whatever is going to happen down there, storyteller, prepare yourself for it to happen very quickly, because Darby is coming full speed.
I am going to watch it all on film. And then before I leave, I'm going to figure out how to take these tapes out or whatever.
All right.
Something. Excavo, being in her alternate personality, doesn't know tech. What we do with these here security tapes, you just got to use the old VHS, stick a toothbrush in the little spindly do.
I'm still okay at it.
Yeah.
I'm still okay at it. I know at least this much.
She goes from A+ to C-, but it's not an F.
Ovacxe isn't dumb, but not specialized anymore in computers.
More like a rogue.
Sure.
Dexterity.
I'll play our game, you rogue.
So, so let's see. We go now to the basement.
Ooh.
Yep. And Darby and Augustyn are not necessarily outside of the stairwell yet. I wanted to ask Augustyn what his approach is, not knowing that
he has no idea.
Darby is going to be a few turns behind him, unless if Darby burns for celerity.
Darby's plan is to burn for celerity as he bursts into this room.
Okay.
Not beforehand.
Okay.
So I assume that I'm not privy to the information of the video.
No, you would have no idea.
Probably not.
That's
Wait,
fine. That's fine.
Wait, I
So,
know he's
but
going
you
to the
see these
basement.
guys,
Can I
like-
text him?
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
Texting's a
yeah.
free action. You see these guys,
let me
and you
throw
know
this
they're
out.
bad.
Let me throw this out too. Excavo, if you were hanging out in the surveillance room, you would have
Yeah.
enough time to notice there is a microphone and there's a button on the interface that seems to indicate you could press it and it works like an intercom and you could broadcast like through any of the security cameras.
Oh gosh. Okay. Wait, where's Augustyn? Is he in the parking garage?
He's
I assume I am
he's
about
poking out
to
the
exit the
stairwell.
stairwell. Yeah. So what information am I aware of in game, not meta game?
None
So-
yet. I have to tell you.
So looking through, let's say the door to the stairs has like, you open it up and you like peer through the crack. You see the three members of Bravo team. Two of them are on cots. One is out, unconscious, looks beaten up. The other one is sitting up and he's nursing what you may have surmised is a gunshot wound. And the third one has his back to the stairwell and is trying to assist the one that's been shot. Other than these three, the whole parking garage is very poorly lit, and you really don't see anything other than some lockers, some cots, some racks of uniform pieces like pants and helmets and things.
Okay. Okay. I think I know. I think I know the play here. I'm gonna set Paddington to the side. Do you know how like indoors there's always like a little bit of a gap to the left, like about 1.5 feet, 18 inches or so between the door frame and the wall?
Just
You can
in
set
the corner
Paddington
of the
there,
room.
just in the corner of the stairwell, like out of sight, safely inside the stairwell, still chilling.
Okay.
Pat him on the head, hand him a tomato. And just because, I feel like that's the most identifiable quality of my clearly subtle character.
Wait, I see him do this. I don't know if he's seen the other two guards that are like dark.
But if I've seen that there's clearly a dude holding his bullet wound, and I know that that's a hole, let me check my.
Oh no!
What are my charisma stats? Not bad. Charisma manipulation. I am Okay. I open the door, looking directly at the guy with the bullet hole that he's nursing, and just, my God, it's worse than they told me. Let me examine that for you.
This is not what I thought this was
I can't
going.
warn you of anything. You've already engaged. Nope.
Wow!
I hurriedly saunter up to him to examine the bullet hole. Have you applied pressure since receiving this wound?
That is an interesting play. They
I love it.
the two conscious guards in front of you are visibly surprised and very confused about your presence. Remember that you are a bizarre looking individual. Like your body is pretty human looking. You don't have very low humanity, so you don't like look ghoulish. But I think it's been canonically established that you were always wearing like a jacket with a whole bunch of pockets and all sorts of random shit in them, and cargo pants with full of like seeds and scraps of plants. So you look straight up bizarre, and you're running at them out of nowhere, and they are just taken aback.
Capitalizing on their confusion, I'll not repeat myself again. Time is of the essence. Have you applied pressure to the wound? I must examine this before trauma sets in.
The the fully uniformed, apparently unharmed guard looks at you and says, "Who the fuck are you?"
I was informed that there was an injury that needed the utmost attention. Please, I must examine this. I have a salve that can aid in the remedy of this wound of yours.
Oh my god, can I hear any of this?
No.
Is it all just being mimed? Oh no!
You see a little speaker in
It's
the
gonna
wall of
be
things.
very triggering if I just start speaking to everybody in the room from the surveillance room. They'll know exactly where I'm at.
It's a fair assumption. So the guard says, "No, who are you and who told you to come down here?"
My name is Dr. Toboggan. I've been informed by your leadership that you are in need of dire medical attention. I'm trying to utilize my manipulation stats to make up a convincing argument for why I'm there trying to treat them medically.
Whew, all right. Well, that will be a manipulation plus subterfuge roll, which is going to be, I'm going to say difficulty of 7, but you have 8 dice and a specialization that you're going to be rolling with.
So 8 dice, difficulty 7. Got it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you got 2.
3.
You got
10
2
is counted as
successes.
2.
3.
Yeah, it's got a specialization.
Yeah, specialization. There's a 10 there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 3 successes.
Oh my god. Oh
So-
my god.
So the guard says, okay, yeah, you were really supposed to be cleared to be able to be down here, but okay, yeah, he's been shot. We were told we're not supposed to give him to a hospital. We're supposed to try to treat it here. If you can treat him, go for it. And he kind of steps back, and the guy with bullet wound, who looks, he's pale, he's sweaty, he looks kind of out of it. He just kind of shrugs and lays down to be examined.
That poor motherfucker. At what point does Darby burst in? Are we getting? I mean, I'm just running down 4 flights of steps here. Like,
it's gonna be another couple beats until Darby comes in.
all right.
Fantastic. I must examine this immediately. And I look at the bullet hole and rub my chin and make some really concerned sounds. Indeed. I'll have to use some of my strongest, most uncharacteristic remedies. And I procure some seeds from my pocket. And I put the seeds in the hole.
Yeah. This was always where this was going.
You knew this was going to happen.
I did.
I knew this was going to
I
happen.
did not know this was going to happen.
I don't know how our other 2 friends
What
did not
did
pick
they
up on
do?
precisely what you were going to do. May only Darby, as your arch enemy, knew your mind well enough.
So
All right, so I gently put them in and cross both of my hands over the wound, still producing the facade of providing medical care. And I kind of close my eyes and look as though I'm concentrating. And I burn a blood to cast Fetus Season Passing.
mother.
Oh my god.
So as
What's
you're
his
doing that-
humanity? What's his fucking humanity? He's a goddamn psychopath.
He
Yeah.
probably looks like a freaking ghoul
Is
coming
your-
in here with his low humanity, probably.
Is your intention?
What is this? The
is your
Joker?
intention to? I assume to make this
Oh, yeah.
a lethal wound, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
that guy's.
Not
Just
to
back in
just
here?
and stop the bleeding.
just to mix them all up, just to make the biggest. I'm shooting for the Guinness Book of World Records, largest plant produced out of a living body. I have 2 witnesses here who can verify it to the Guinness Book. We going for the record here.
And it's on film.
I'm gonna Gonna take a very quick break while I contemplate the consequences of this.
I think I'm about to get a food delivery, so this is a good time. Good time for a break here.
You know, I played a Green Path Tremere in a LARP for 2 years, and I tried to apply the Green Path to like combat-oriented stuff as much as I could, and it never occurred to me to go this dark with plant magic.
I hope I haven't ruined your experience as a storyteller here with my enjoyment. I didn't expect that I could use plant magic this creatively violent. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't having a lot of fun with it. A whole ass, just to paint the picture of like my demeanor and what I'm up to. While I'm doing Speed of Seasons passing, I'm not like doing the wind up for my heavy melee attack. Like, for all intents and purposes to the people around me, I look like I am genuinely trying to like do some new age hippy dippy voodoo hack crap medicine to this guy. And I fully intend that if the roll goes well and a plant does erupt out of this dude, I'm going to have this look of surprise, like, man, that's never happened. And just genuinely try and play it off as though I had no intention of harming this guy, that I just accidentally mutilated the bejesus out of his innards. I'm hoping to keep playing on the confusion of the guards around me. Like, they clearly know magic is a thing and that, you know, the nightmarish underworld exists. So I'm hoping that I can capitalize on their background knowledge and my Robin Williamsing it up with, you know, the, joyful idiot who doesn't know the consequences of his actions.
You know, I gotta say, Kimber, it might be just a quirk of like delays and sync, but you were lip syncing, from my perspective, perfectly to Andy. It was eerie.
Nailed it. But yeah, that's the game plan here. I'm gonna try and just play dumb as hard as I can, and hoping like that's as far as my plan goes. I'm hoping they don't take me accidentally mutilating this guy as actual hostility and go aggro immediately. I'm hoping there's time for me to react. We'll just have to see how the dice roll. But, if Darby breaks in while this is going down, cool. If he doesn't, and I have a window to do some actual, like, violence and reveal myself, double cool.
Am I just like an IRL Malkavian? Like that's really, really amazing effect. The delay in the video makes it really like perfectly line up with Kimber's lip syncing. It was a very convincing and almost unsettling effect that you were able to achieve.
They have both independently complimented the quality with which you've been lip syncing as a product of the delay and the syncing with the audio and video, entirely independent of each other. But
so when Ovacxe's character sheet was written up, the new official, like fully written up Ovacxe character sheet, some of the discipline dots got moved around, and the character Ovacxe lost some aspects and some dominate in exchange for getting dementation, which Excavo does not have. And it kind of feels like we were just subjected to dementation, which manipulates your emotions and makes you crazy, to oversimplify it.
Does this version of the game have that absurdly high level of dementation where you can just give someone a derangement?
I think that's level 5 of dementation.
I remember when I don't remember what the guy's name was. He gave Patrick Carney aphasia, and just
no, it wasn't Patrick Carney. It was that guy who, may have been autistic or something, but when he would start talking, it was like a freight train. He would just not, he could go on forever and not give anyone else a chance to speak. And it required a lot of patience. And that other player at some point was like, okay, I am in character, very irritated by this. I'm going to give this guy aphasia. And you could see how the player was just crestfallen when it was fully explained to him that like he has to stop talking. He can maybe write things down, but maybe not even that.
Yeah, you could try to learn to talk gibberish, but you cannot actually communicate to anybody with your voice. But I think the storyteller made him take it back or undid it or something. It was just like too powerful.
Oh shit. Level 5 dementation. If the roll is successful, the target is afflicted with 5 derangements.
What?
And depending on the number of successes you get, this could last from 1 turn to 1 year.
Jesus.
Holy fuck.
2 successes, it lasts for the entire night. And 5 or more successes is 1 year.
Insanely strong.
It's pretty bad. Difficulty of the
You get to choose the derangements, or is it random?
Of the storyteller's choice. I think there might be an elder level of the power where you get to inflict specific derangements. Okay.
That's freaking nuts. All right, but back to also freaking nuts. Plant Man over here.
So, Augustyn, I want to have you do another manipulation plus subterfuge roll, difficulty 8, to have these guards continue to be convinced that you are a legitimate doctor.
Is this before or after I cast Speed of Seasons Passing?
This is during.
What's at stake?
During.
Could they stop his cast if he fails this, or are they just gonna react really quickly after it happens?
I'm gonna say it's as you pull the seeds out and start doing something. Possibly the realization dawns on them like there's no fucking way this guy's a real doctor. So please roll to determine whether or not you somehow continue to convince them that you are a doctor. So that'll be 8 dice with a specialization.
Oh yeah. Easy money.
Oh,
That's 4
man.
successes.
They're, in fact, more convinced than ever that I am a very real Dr. Mantis Toboggan.
You're not just a doctor. You are the best doctor.
Thank God you're here.
Dr. Mantis, you say. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do get the reference and appreciate it. So you hear the guard that's unharmed and fully uniformed kind of mutter under his breath like, oh, Otto must have gotten us a real fancy doctor. This must be some sort of holistic naturopathic. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this in my life. But he doesn't seem alarmed, and it doesn't seem like he's going to take any defensive action. Give me a what is it? Willpower roll, difficulty of 4. Isn't it 3 plus? 3 plus the level of the power, which would make this difficulty 5.
So I've got 6 willpower.
Those are all successes.
Can he roll these over? Or is it just this roll?
Augustyn does whatever he wants.
I don't.
That's one of the best rules I've ever seen, and it would be a shame if that's all it is worth.
It's a near perfect roll. Augustyn does whatever he wants.
I'm gonna say that that matters, but I'm gonna say that is gonna lower the difficulty of the next roll, because thaumaturgy stuff takes 2 rolls. So give me an intelligence plus occult roll, and that's gonna knock the difficulty down to 4.
And this is where it all comes up ones.
Good.
Nope.
But it didn't.
He keeps on winning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
That is a lot of.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the 10 counts for 2.
Yeah, that's
I
Augustyn,
don't think-
that's what he wants.
what specific seeds did you pull out of your pocket? I think it's fair to say you
what are
pulled
we
something
growing?
out deliberately.
This whole garden, what are we growing?
Just that big tree from upstairs.
I was literally thinking, like, feeling wistful and bad for the destruction of such an exotic and beautiful plant for such a mundane environment. It only fits that I grow an extraordinary ficus out of this gentle mint.
Okay, that makes sense. Those seeds, if you could somehow extract them from the plant in the lobby, those would be at the top of, let's say, your seed pocket. You thumb these seeds into this guy's bullet wound, and
This is fucking so gnarly.
you start doing your gestures and incantations, which somehow the 2 conscious guards are convinced, like, whoa, you must be some sort of doctor savant. You look bizarre, but that must be because you're a genius, and geniuses often, have quirks and stuff. So
And he does have power. I mean, and they might be able to feel some of the magic, like he's channeling arcane energy around them.
You're carrying around your shillelagh, right? Your talisman.
It is true. It is true. I've never detached from this beautiful piece of equipment since I've so graciously been bestowed it.
Oh, I forgot. Since you do have your talisman, you have 2 extra dice for all of your green path rolls, and I think that applies to both the willpower roll and the occult roll. So let's remember that. But you already got all of the successes you would need. So the way speed of seasons passing works, the more successes you get, the more rapidly and violently the plant grows. So so you do your gestures and incantations, and nothing happens for a second, and then all of a sudden the guard's abdomen distends and bloats, and you hear the cracking of ribs, and a sound comes out of the guard's mouth. They kind of sound like if someone comes up behind you and like hugs you really hard. That completely inadvertent sound that you make when your lungs are just compressed violently, sort of like, and all of a sudden, branches with leaves just explode out of his mouth. You see.
Oh yeah, I need to find a way to take this tape out of here.
You see
It's a masquerade bridge.
You see little bits of twigs poke out of his bullet wound immediately, and there's a very noticeable sudden bulge in the back of his pants. As this happens, and there's blood and viscera spraying out of his mouth. His eyes bug out. His throat is swollen and distended as all these plants try to like work their way up every tube they can. You can hear cracking and shredding and things breaking in his body. This gross, like muffled snapping sounds. And the guard that's standing next to you stumbles backward and starts screaming. It is around this time that you hear in the far end of the parking garage, you hear some commotion, and you see a big, heavy-set guy come out from around a column, curious and looking at you, wearing a raincoat with a hood. You can only kind of see his very strange-looking face, and then soon a second, extremely similar-looking guard comes out and stands next to him, and then a third, and then a fourth, and then Darby bursts out of the stairwell, having, in a rush, gingerly stepping over Paddington and immediately burning for celerity.
You know, I didn't think the plant guy with a bunch of pockets on him would bring the Evil Dead gore to this game.
It is like that scene.
You know?
This is not what I had imagined when we started filming.
And so, for what it's worth, as this is all happening, whether or not I have time to do it, I don't know. But Augustyn is trying to put his hands up in a soothing manner to the screaming guard.
No,
Get it!
You're still trying to pretend
This is only indicative that he was truly in dire need of this medical attention. Think of it as a carapace from which a butterfly blooms. It is regenerating. It is an encasement of his mortal coil. He will emerge from this plant anew without wound momentarily. And trying to convince him. I'm not sure if I have enough time before Darby bursts through the door, but I did think through a compelling case to make to him for why his friend, who very much is dead, is in fact not actually dead.
So one, it's fair to assume this guy's going to die from this, but at the moment he's moving around, kind of being puppeteered by these plants in his body, still growing and growing into the insides of his limbs. As you are monologuing to the remaining conscious guard in front of you that is on the ground, on his back, trying to scoot away, that guard just has a look of absolute sheer terror on his face, and he's fumbling with his radio, and he's hitting the talk button and just stuttering and hyperventilating and trying to get something out through his radio. And then Darby bursts in and sees immediately. He knows what the fuck just happened. He sees a guy with plants exploding out of him. He sees another guard still fully unconscious on the other cot. You see Augustyn monologuing, and you see yet another guard on his walkie-talkie trying to signal to someone. And Darby also sees at the far end of the parking garage, there are four big mini-boss looking dudes that have just started observing this and look kind of menacing.
And so, man, I think Darby's first reaction is, "Oh shit, here we go again," and his second reaction, seeing that this is by far the most successful execution, so to speak, of this skill.
Yeah.
I think Darby's when his conscious brain takes over from the initial again type of reaction, is just damn. So okay, you got those ones, and then he kind of writes off the humans and is okay, Augustyn's on this with his plant shit, and he locks eyes with each of the four big ass dudes in turn, and is so you guys must be for me. And he draws both of his weapons and is firing.
So two guns is what he has?
I believe he has two semi-automatic pistols. Let me verify that on the character
He
sheet.
definitely has the one that's part of the TCU Guard uniform.
Oh, yeah, we didn't really talk about his weapons, but yeah, we'll say I just have the one gun. What else do I have on me?
I think it's fair to say all of your stuff, except for the squirrel, are buried in that pot in the lobby. But you have a submachine gun. You have a uniform that is armored to some degree. The helmet that you have is definitely armored. And you have a radio.
So yeah, I think my intention then is to just empty that clip as I'm charging them. I've said my line already. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to empty that clip as I'm charging them. Maybe throw the gun as a projectile, depending on how close I am to them. By the time that all my bullets are gone, and then we're in melee range. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Well, we are at an hour and a half, and this could be a pretty good stopping point.
I'm down to continue. I'm also down to call it. It's up to Andy and Kimber, whatever they want to do. It's up to you too, Graham, if you're running out of steam. But I'm down to do the fight as well.
Yeah, Andy and Kimber, what do you vote? We can put another maybe 20 minutes into this. Would be reasonable.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I
So
just murdered a guy. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Really, a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not okay. He's really got some of this action happening, and it's not great.
We did a lot of damage. When did you get a trident?
that's a lot of damage. So,
Augustyn killed a guy. It's crazy.
yeah, let's make sure we don't forget this. Augustyn's got to do a degeneration roll. Let's see.
There's got to be a higher difficulty. I mean, he's mutilating this body. This shit is gross.
Who knows what the dice are going to do, though? Who knows?
I mean, yeah, he's getting hit in the face with the dice tonight.
So, default difficulty of degeneration rolls is 8.
That's already really high.
And okay, so Augustyn, this will be 6 dice, difficulty 8, to see if you retain your humanity or not.
6 dice. Difficulty 8.
Easy money.
Did
1, 2, 3.
3 successes.
Augustyn is, and this might be even more disturbing. Augustyn's fully aware that murder is not a good thing, and he's been doing it.
He loves it.
Quite a lot. It's even if he's very cavalier about it externally, on the inside, it's weighing on him a little bit. So he retains his humanity.
That is the least convincing face, Augustyn.
Well, no, he feels shitty about it.
You look like Jimmy Carr.
But he's maybe still pretty proud that he grew a really big plant.
I think it's an adequate replacement Ficus.
You know,
At the very least, we're skipping on property damage charges.
he might feel mostly bad for the plant, because that's not a proper place to plant a ficus. It's not going to thrive there. It's in a basement. There's no sunlight.
Oh, I really fucked this one up. Oh, man, I can't believe I did that. That plant. Oh, no.
I want to see this from the perspective of the homicide detective who comes in here.
We can't leave this body here. It's just a masquerade breach. This is our problem now. This guy just created a tree that we got to carry around.
It's the most elaborate marionette anyone's ever attempted. Ovacxe, does not the sight of potential violence stir your limbs to
Ovacxe
action?
is conflicted. I'm conflicted. I go down there. How much help will I be? I might be giving help, but I still haven't taken any of the footage out of the surveillance office.
All right.
which I would need to come back up here to do.
So
If we win and kill everyone, you'll have time to do that.
Yeah, if the two of you are able to handle it, then I can not engage in battle and just get the footage so that this massive breach of the masquerade is not further discovered.
Say, are you able to just set about destroying the system, not just the footage, but like the whole thing?
I mean,
Are you like saying that in sign language to her on the camera, or how?
yeah, let's get to initiative. Darby actually has highest initiative this time.
Finally.
So declaring actions in reverse order of initiative. Three of the guards in raincoats at the far end of the.
You want to put them on the map here?
Yeah, just about to do that. I didn't have a tremendous amount of variety to the what icons I could use in Roll20. So these are all going to look kind of generic. So as you can see, there are 4 more dudes that are down there. 3 of them, actually all 4 of them are running straight at Darby. And just charging. And as they get closer, and you see little bits of their body. You see like their hands as they're running, and you see their faces. You see that they have very prominent spikes on their knuckles. You also see, as they start running, and they're running kind of clumsily and kind of slowly, you hear some like clanking around and clicking under their raincoats, and you see they're essentially wearing riot gear under their raincoats, and even the hood. As the hood comes up a little bit, you see like a plexiglass-looking visor over them because they're wearing the same helmet that you are, but with like the visor down. They don't look like normal humans at all. In the face, they have like really thick square jaws. They look almost like cartoonishly like bruisers. They look quite alien and quite a bit intimidating. All 4 of them are running at Darby. As I said before, the Bravo guard, Bravo 3, is on his back, on the floor, on the radio, trying to get something out into it. Augustyn, what are you doing?
How big would you say this...
You're like...
How big would you say that this ficus that has erupted in front of me, how large would you say it is?
It is quickly growing to be like larger than the guy's body. Like the whole mass is becoming mostly plants.
Okay, so it's a pretty damn formidable size. Like if I were to get into a boxing match with it and it were, say, animated, I'd probably be given a run for my money. So, just basking in the glory of this most wonderful creation of mine, I give it a giant hug and burn another blood and cast Awaken the Forest Giants.
Awaken the Forest Giants is specifically tree type things, but I think you need like a fully sized tree for that to work. But Dance of Vines should be able to do what you want it to do, and you actually don't need to touch it for Dance of Vines to animate it. And I don't know how I keep getting caught off guard by these things that you come up with. Like, I genuinely don't see it coming. But in hindsight, it's always like, of fucking course, Augustyn would now fully puppeteer this guy who...
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Darby said.
He has the audacity.
Yeah, he does. We've covered that.
It's got the horror element and the actual violence element. Is his limbs and viscera are entangled in this plant that's now going to be moving all Booga booga. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be something.
It
Cool.
will.
So your
8.
intention is to animate the guy via Ficus, and once you do, whatever we would call this abomination, what would you direct it to do?
I would order it to take root and point at the 4 guards and call them soil.
Meaning, like, shamble over to them and just like
Force feed them it.
roots at them.
Yes.
Oh, going
Like-
into their orifices and stuff.
Yes.
Of course.
Obviously, a fucking course.
Okay. And Darby has declared that he is emptying the whole magazine of this submachine gun.
So I'm using my initiative prerogative to change my intention. So I sizing these guys up now that I can see them. I think my gun is going to be useless. Like I don't
Definitely, to make it clear, this looks a little intimidating. There are like 5 guys, 4 at least, combat capable. 2 of you are outnumbered, and all of the guys running at you look like even a single one would be quite challenging.
Yeah, and there is no fear. Darby is going to, like, if this is how he dies, this is how he dies. But with the gun in particular, I think what he does instead is tries to deal with the guy with the walkie, the dude that's scared. So I want to use my celerity action, or I guess my initial action. I want to use my initial action to called shot, shoot the guy. Do I want to shoot him in the head or shoot the walkie-talkie? I think I want to shoot the walkie-talkie out of his hand. Just called shot, fucking superhero shit. Shoot the walkie-talkie.
Difficulty of 8 for that. And this will
Okay.
be
So I have some questions. What can I do? What are my options vis-a-vis stat augmentation? Because I think I'm going to be doing some of that shit. I think I'm gearing up for a last stand here, so I'm pulling out whatever combat stops I can for a scene. If that means burning a couple willpower, I'm going to do that. Darby is sensing that this is his greatest test and that he is going to have to summon everything he's got if he wants to win, but he will win.
Very good question. Everyone is invited to ask those kinds of questions. What are all the options that my character has in this situation? You can spend... you already spent 1 blood for celerity, but you can still spend...
I think I spend 2 more.
You can spend 4 blood a turn. So you
Oh,
can spend
3 more.
3 more. If it is for increasing your physical stats, pretty sure you can do that alongside everything else. It can be a reflexive action.
Okay.
Let me just double check that real quick.
And I think there is some component of burning willpower too, or does that just make it last longer? Or that lets you stay over your generational limit for a certain amount of time?
So willpower is not relevant to raising your physical attributes, but you can spend a willpower to get 1 automatic success on your roll that can't be canceled by a botch.
Okay.
If it's in a situation that like makes sense.
Yeah, like trying to hit a called shot target. Can you will yourself a success to hit?
Yeah, you can use willpower to get an automatic success on shooting the radio.
Okay, I am doing that, and I am also going to raise my. Okay, what is my generational limit and my per scene limit for a physical stat?
I think it's 6. I'm pretty sure it's 6.
So I'm gonna use my blood to bring both my strength and dexterity to a natural 6. this turn.
And you fire off a shot with your submachine gun. You focus intensely, and a bullet time kind of thing happens, and you manage to shoot a round cleanly through the radio. Don't even clip the guy's hand.
Hell yeah.
And as he has the call button down, and what he's stuttering out is like, Alpha, there's a... And then pew, it just spirals out of his hand with like the top half of the radio just gone.
Hell yes. Yeah!
So that is...
Darby dies, he's going to go out like a fucking badass.
That is your first turn. Your second turn will be at the end of the round.
Yep.
So one of the...
I would like to point out that I was staring at those guys the whole time. Like, never broke eye contact with the dudes charging me.
That is pretty badass. Let me move this first dude up to be right up in your grill. So the first dude runs at you, and he gets close enough to you that it's very clear that this is some sort of monster. This is a pack of weird looking monsters. You haven't seen anything like this before. And he rears back, and he is slugging you in the face, attempting to anyway.
I am going to take the rest of my action to dodge the incoming attacks that are... Can I do that with a celerity action?
Yeah, in fairness, I did not ask you what your second action would be. So you can say your second action is just spent...
defending myself.
Yeah, just dodging. So I believe this falls under the rule of if you're spending a whole action just defending, that counts as a defense against anything that happens to you in that round. But every attack you have, every subsequent attack has like one fewer die to defend with.
Okay. Makes sense.
So he is going to come at you with a dexterity plus brawl roll, and you're going to defend with dexterity plus athletics to dodge.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck.
Seven dodge successes. It's pretty wild. Let's see what this guy gets.
I am in the fucking Matrix right now. He's got three successes to attack, but...
So, yeah, you fully dodge that guy. He comes at you, and he looks big and intimidating, but he's moving kind of slow. And you have roughly twice the dexterity that he does, even without the celerity. And you pretty easily just sort of like fade back and completely misses you.
Whoa.
Augustyn, give me a willpower roll, please. Difficulty 3+. So Dance of Vines is 3, so difficulty of 6.
Looks like one success aggregate.
The dice haven't come through for us yet.
I don't see it.
I got 2 1s, a 6, and a 10.
You don't have a specialization that would...
Did you roll enough dice? Did you get your shillelagh dice?
I didn't get my shillelagh dice.
So the 1s and the 2 successes cancel out. Roll 2. The dice just came in. That was weird. So you rolled 2 more dice.
Bad. They were bad.
Yep. So you burn a point of blood. You burned 2 so far in this scene.
Putting me down to 11.
Correct. That's what I have too. So you burn another point of blood, and you do your gestures and incantations, and the dude's still like writhing and twitching on the cot with plants still like slowly pushing out of them, like they're not quite done growing. the Bravo 3 on the floor sees the radio fly out of his hand, and he's just kind of stunned. Like, he looks like he was thinking, like, that was his option. He's got to call in help, and now he just doesn't know what the fuck to do, and he's looking around kind of panicked and unprepared. Not even yet trying to get to his feet. He's just like scooting back toward the wall behind him. The other 3 guards come at you. And 2 of them are also trying to punch you. And the third one is there's a bit of a traffic jam in front of you, so the third one is trying to get around behind you, looking like he wants to grab Darby, but he has to reach you first. So let's do the first 2 and their rolls to hit you. And
Okay.
again, you can see that all 4 of them have these menacing looking spikes on coming out of their knuckles that look like they're organic. It looks like it's very Wolverine looking.
Sure.
It looks like bones protruding through the skin. It's probably some copyright violation happening.
Schnickety, schnickety, schnein. Logan, Weapon X.
So first one gets 5 successes.
So now I defend with 9 dice. Okay, wait a minute.
And second one gets
3.
3 successes. So for the first one, yeah, you defend with 1 fewer die, and then the next one, 2 fewer dice. So that's 2.
Okay, so I think the first guy hits.
And what about the next guy?
Next guy, not a chance. Next guy gets dodged again, big time.
Holy shit. That is incredible.
7 successes on 8 dice.
So 3 guys, and I'm going to move these dudes up here to show how they're all up in your grill. 3 guys come at you, and 3 of them from 3 different angles are swinging these big, meaty, spiked fists, like right at your head. And like Muhammad Ali, you just you bob and weave, and you miss 2 of them, but you can't quite do all 3. And one of them socks you right in the head. This is that one guy's damage roll.
3 successes?
3 total successes. And as this connects with your head, you can feel the spikes tearing into you. Like getting
He hits me in the face, not the helmet.
Sorry, you feel them scraping against the helmet, which does offer you protection, 3 armor for attacks targeting the head, no matter if they're ballistic or not. Okay, so
Hell yeah.
So I'm gonna say no matter what you receive, the helmet might get popped right off of your head if you take enough damage. But if you do take damage, instead of being lethal, it will be bashing because it can't stab you through the helmet. So your soak pool +3 for the helmet. 2 successes. So you soak 2 of those.
Okay, take 1 bashing, right?
You take 1 bashing, but that is halved, and it is reduced to 0 thanks to you being a vampire. You have all bashing damage, so you definitely feel rattled by it, and you get a sense of there's power behind these strikes. These guys might be kind of slow, but they're all muscle. And if you get a solid hit from one of them, you expect it to probably hurt. But you don't take any damage. And the fourth guy, I'm going to maneuver him around. All he manages to do is get behind you and get into position to grab you. But he takes no other action. And you have... Oh, yeah, and your other action was just...
Was dodging.
In defense. Okay. So, new round. That guy behind you intends to grab you. It looks like he's coming in for a bear hug kind of thing. So the others can just, like, wail on you. The other three are continuing the same thing. They're kind of to your left, right, and center, and they're all just trying to, like, pummel you, just wailing on you.
We're back to the top of priority.
What's that?
I apologize.
We're in a new round. Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Cool.
right, yeah. Bravo 3, who is terrified, is trying to... he's trying to shuffle over to the stairwell. And he's doing it very hesitantly and very slowly because you guys are right in front of the stairwell, and he's terrified by everything, but it looks like he's trying to get out of the basement. Augustyn, are you going to try the Dance of Vines thing again?
Did we... I don't know that I've used this yet, but the decompose mega power thing that we've gone for being so specialized in the green path. Have we ever decided on mechanics for that?
Oh, yeah, big time. I don't think you've used it yet, but that is... in hindsight, what I would like to do is say that Augustyn has developed a separate thaumaturgical path that's specifically about fungi or fungi. I don't know. That's separate from the green path, and it has its own set of powers. I think that would be a lot of fun. Also, just scientifically, that would make sense. But for now, this has been imagined as an alternate power of the green path. And yes, so we do have mechanics for it. Decompose, it's an alternate fourth level of the green path that we invented. With this power, the thaumaturge can command the... Augustyn, you're the authority. Fungi or fungi?
I would say fungi, and not for the nerdy pun that so often comes out.
Well, you can command the fungi that invisibly coat virtually every surface to begin rapidly growing and decomposing whatever organic material they are in contact with. You can accurately target 1 square foot of any surface within 10 yards per success on an intelligence plus occult roll. Difficulty 7 due to targeting fungi instead of plants. So for every success you get, that's 1 square foot. This does a level of aggravated damage, 1 level, and it rots up to 1 square foot of inanimate material to dust. An insufficient number of successes on the roll results in the fungus decomposing a closer location that is random and at my discretion. You yourself are immune to this power unless if you deliberately will otherwise. Or if you botch your intelligence plus occult roll, you will accidentally decompose part of yourself. Just to make this a little more fun, I wrote the amount of damage inflicted by this power, which I said was just 1 level of aggravated damage, can be, or the total volume of inanimate material decomposed can be multiplied by spending willpower points. So if you successfully hit someone and it does a level of aggravated damage, you can spend 2 willpower points and it does 3 levels of aggravated damage.
Cool. And do I have to be able to, like, what is the targeting mechanic? Like, if I know they're wearing helmets, can I just target their faces, or do I have to get through their helmets to get to their feet?
It says any target within 10 yards per success. I'm going to say as long as you can see it, that counts as like you have line of sight. You know what you're targeting. You can do it if it's behind glass or whatever. It's magic.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to decompose the.
Oh God! Oh no! Go ahead. Sorry. Fuck. His
neck.
head. Okay, it's worse. His neck.
I'm
So
going
his head will be.
I'm going to decompose the neck of the brutes trying to grapple Darby from behind.
Interesting.
While cursing loudly at the pretentiousness of this Ficus not wanting to be cooperative in this grand endeavor.
It does feel offensive that it's not following your commands. Wow, that is very clever. Okay. So you are trying to decapitate this person. I have to just clarify, if this were an inanimate thing that you were targeting, you can like delete cubic feet of material. Animated things, people, plants, animals, monsters, those take aggravated damage. That will not necessarily translate to like deleting his neck. It could have other mechanical effects if he takes tremendous damage to his neck and perhaps he needs to breathe and he can't. So it'll still do something. Darby.
So willpower roll?
In a moment. First, Darby,
Okay.
what do you declare?
Okay. Well, I don't know he's doing this. So what is this thing immediately to my right?
That's a car. And let's say, yeah, I found the closest layout I could to like a dark parking garage kind of thing. But let's say, yes, that is actually a car and that is in play.
What kind of car?
I'm going to say like an SUV, like a practical little SUV. I'm going to say it's what's the manufacturer of a RAV4? Is that a Toyota?
Toyota, yeah.
It's a Toyota RAV4.
Okay. So first things first, I'm burning 4 more points of blood, and I realize I'm down to 4 points of blood. And I am raising my stamina up to 6 as well, and burning for celerity 1 more time. My intention is to kind of flip-flop the situation I find myself in. So I think what I'm going to do is try to tackle the guy right in front of me to get away from the one behind me and focus on just killing one of them, and understanding that the other ones are probably going to be able to get some pot shots in. So I am trying to tackle with one action, then bite with the other action the one on directly in front of me.
Okay. I will say that because of the helmet the guy's wearing that has like a visor, difficulty biting will go by 1.
Okay.
Kind of hard to
all right. Sure. So I'll have to hold his helmet apart so I could get to the whatever's underneath it. I guess I don't even really know what's under there, but hopefully skin.
So first action, tackling, and we'll say
yes.
Tackle plus hold, because you have to hold before you can bite.
And I want to be really specific here. I am executing the finishing move of the wrestler Bill Goldberg, which is a kind of like a 3-point tackle, like a football tackle. But I would just want to point this out that I am executing a WWE move to tackle this guy, which is my brawling specialty.
Style points. Grappling is your strength specialty.
Brawling specialty is WWE moves.
I will write that down.
That was we worked that out together. So I'm not springing that on you. We have
I
discussed
don't.
this in the past.
Yeah, I didn't remember that, but yeah, that's perfect. And you have enough dots in Brawl to have a specialty. Okay. So first move, tackle, and then your celerity move at the end of the round is going to be biting. So for that tackle, give me a... Oh, I think it's dexterity, but there's a chance it's strength. Let me double check. Tackle. Yeah, that is dexterity plus athletics. And consequently, you are going to be also like on the ground with him,
Yep.
like basically laying on top of him.
Understood. That's 5 successes.
Damn. That guy goes down and lands with a heavy thud. And you hear the clattering of armor underneath him and kind of a bang as the back of his helmet like bounces off the concrete. And that is the middle guy, so that is that dude in the middle. Let me shuffle you guys around here a little bit. So that is the guy that you tackled, and he was trying to take a swing at you, and on the way down, he can still try to punch you. So he is going to roll for that.
5. It's pretty good.
Also, he's going to roll.
Dude gets 7 dice to hit me. What a dick.
All right, and his damage successes are 6. All right, so you have quite a lot of dice to roll to soak with. So you have 6 stamina, and that's going to be plus your fortitude. So you have 9 dice to soak this.
Need a good roll, though. That ain't it. 2 successes.
So this guy was targeting your head, and as you come at him...
Well, shouldn't I have gotten 3 more soak dice then?
Let's say... I was going to say, like, you tackling changed his targeting to your body, but I think it's more fair for you to roll 3 dice to say, like, yeah, he's still hitting you on the head.
That helps.
2 more successes. So
that's 1 bashing.
It is you take 1 bashing and the helmet pops off of your head, exposing your squirrel.
Go for the eyes, boo!
All right. It's still amazing. Darby is so far only taken 1 bashing. Okay, so next up is Augustyn. And you were trying to melt the neck of the guy that's behind Darby.
So willpower first, yeah?
Yeah, willpower roll 4 plus 3 is 7. Difficulty 7.
Save me, wizard man.
Copy that. Adding the shillelagh dice.
Yes. Willpower plus 2.
Don't know why this takes so long on my computer. The suspense is killing me.
Oh, yeah, that's plenty.
Pretty good.
That's a lot. This one's going to work.
Now,
intelligence plus occult plus shillelagh.
Yes. Difficulty 7 again.
Difficulty 7. Copy. 10d10. Suspense!
I see some.
I see some as well.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Minus 1. So 4 aggregate?
Well, do you have a specialty in this?
No.
Okay, yeah. So 4 successes.
I don't see one on.
Still pretty good
on the sheet. Augustyn has an intelligence specialization of book knowledge, but I don't think that'll.
Nerd.
So you said it's damage equal to the number of or is it proportional to the number of successes? Yeah.
The number of successes determine how well you can target something. farther away. If it's more than 10 yards away, this is not at all, you will need to get more than one success on this roll to be able to accurately target it. This just does one level of aggravated damage regardless, unless if you were blowing willpower points to like infuse this with your rage.
Just for my own mental imagery, like if I were to in real life take an aggravated damage, like how would that look on a standard human? Do I just get like a burn or like?
Oh, like a 3rd-degree burn.
Yeah, aggravated damage is a special kind of damage. It usually just comes up with supernatural creatures who can get certain types of damage that cannot be healed as easily. For humans, it's rare that a human would take damage that you wouldn't just call lethal. In my memory, like if a human took aggravated damage, that would refer to like something catastrophic, like arm coming off, some part of the body exploding.
Tree growing inside of you, etc.
For vampire, if a vampire takes aggravated damage, it could be from fire, it could be from like supernatural claws or teeth, and the wound might not look particularly ghastly, but there would be something special and supernatural about that wound that would make it not as straightforward to heal.
Okay. And is there a cap to how much willpower I can dump into this multiplier other than just not sending myself into frenzy?
There. 1 per turn.
For this, the intention, I think in general with spending willpower, there's not a cap to how many willpower you are allowed to spend on stuff. I could be wrong about that, but for this specific power, it was my intention that you can spend as many willpower as you are willing to part with. However, you have 6 willpower, and if you run out of willpower, you will be essentially catatonic and unable to take any action that requires a roll, and it would be difficult to do anything other than just like sitting down quietly and staring into the middle distance until you get taken to someplace to like safely sleep through the day.
Cool, because I'm thinking more and more about this Ficus, and it's just really upsetting me.
Is it focusing your rage?
And, yeah, with the cry of "Don't you turn your nose up at me!" I dumped 2 willpower into it to generate 3 aggravated.
2 willpower. All right. Shit.
Fuck yeah. I'm glad you appreciate the gravity of this situation.
Well, I've already killed 1. My body count's like 100% yours right now, right?
Okay, you haven't killed one of these assholes.
I'm working on it.
You seem a lot more likely to kill one than I am.
All right. So this dude takes 3 aggravated damage to the neck, and you hear the sound of the guy muffled from under his like riot helmet. He starts to scream, and at first the scream is coming out of his mouth, and then as his throat starts to disappear, his scream starts to get a little distorted and cracks a little bit, and just turns into a forceful gurgling through a new neck hole. So that's horrific.
Yep. He's done it again.
All right. So Bravo 3 behind you guys. I'm going to maneuver him. He gets most of the way over to the stairwell, and he's now next to the guy that you turned into a Pez dispenser.
Love it. I love that for me.
The two dudes who are on either side of Darby are both going to roll to thwomp him. First one gets
That ain't it.
no successes. This dude swings and seems to. It's kind of dumb looking. Like you shoot ahead to tackle the guy in front of you, and the other guy just doesn't even try to track you. He just follows through with punching where you were.
Got him.
You get that kind of vibe from these guys, like kind of big and dumb.
Same. Honestly, same.
You're all gonna have beers and laugh about this later. The survivors.
Yeah.
Next guy.
Things got crazy back there.
Again, aiming for your head. Total of 2. And you don't get the benefit of the helmet. You're rolling
3 to soak. So no damage.
So that dude, he thwomps on your head, but glancing blow. It knocks the squirrel off of your head. Squirrel seems fine, but stunned, and goes like spiraling off into the. Considering how this dude is positioned, squirrel bounces off the windshield of the car next to you, but doesn't look like it's dead. Might be injured. No longer feels safe with you though. Next up, the guy behind you who's trying to grab you is now instead just grabbing his throat, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, that checks out.
So that is 2 rounds in. Excavo, you've been watching all of this play out over the last. It's been like, I don't know. We'll say about 10 seconds of just frantic. Clearly, there's a brawl that has erupted down here. Are you taking any action?
I am also frantic. Oh, I am also frantic. I am frantically trying to turn it off.
Oh, side note.
How do I get this out?
Just on the desk that you're at, again, you see like a wall of monitors. You see a little microphone. You see buttons that indicate like there's a button to listen to a camera and also broadcast to it. And there's also a walkie-talkie just on the desk. And as
I know
as
you
this
want
is
me
happening,
to talk to them, but I don't want to talk to them. I want to figure out how to get the video footage out of here, or destroy the place.
I'm just setting the scene for you. You hear Bravo 3 like kind of stuttering into the walkie-talkie, and then like kind of the distorted sound of it getting shot.
I do not engage. Like I don't want anybody to know that I'm in here.
Very important.
I look for a way to like turn off the cameras and like not have this footage be available anywhere anymore.
Let me roll for whether or not there is a way to just turn off the cameras from where you are. Yeah, you find that in the control panel in front of you, there are buttons to like change which camera is currently selected, and there's a button that just says like toggle on off.
Oh yeah, if I saw that right away, that would be the first thing I would do is turn that off as soon as I see the a la Little Shop of Horrors just start to come to life in this.
As soon as it gets weird.
in the form of yeah, I turn them off.
Do you turn off
look for
there are 2 cameras.
I turn off whatever I can turn off. I am freaking out. I am just hitting buttons to turn things off.
Okay. You turn off both of the cameras that are pointed at something in the basement, and you can no longer tell what is happening down there other than what you overhear over the radio. And
That's fine.
unless if there's another action that you would like to take, I suggest this is a good stopping point for this session.
I think we did it. I was hoping that we'd find a way to untorp Blake, and instead we're just going to torp Darby and add him to the mix.
And then once Darby gets taken down, they'd be going for Augustyn next. And how would that play out?
Honestly, he seems like more of a threat to them than me. Darby really serving his role as the tank, you know, taking hits, letting our magic user, our caster, like do some shit. Sorry, I got my sad squirrel here. I gotta add him.
Oh.
You found a sad squirrel.
Yeah, I mean, we've never really had one of these. These dudes are obviously our most formidable opponents physically, certainly in mass. And if we learned anything from Blake's combat, it's that fighting multiple targets at once is a death sentence in the math of this game. But fuck it, you know, Leroy Jenkins. Although I feel like since my nature is Leroy Jenkins, maybe I should get a willpower back for being such a badass every once in a while, but it's never happened yet.
Yeah, you're going to get a willpower back when you act very clearly in adherence to your nature, which at the moment you're not.
That's for damn sure.
So spending experience points. Augustyn, you said, if I'm not mistaken, you were saving up for the 5th dot of manipulation, which you can afford. You have 9 points and it costs 8 points.
And you earned it today, buddy.
Oh wait, no.
would
I mixed up abilities and attributes. It would take 16 points, not 8 points. Current rating is 4, so 4 times.
It's not there yet.
I will continue to save because at this point, by the time I do get there, that was the most madcap thing I could have conjured. That was
Oh my god.
big fun. Big fun.
Very, very unexpected.
It worked too well.
The mad lad.
A reminder, once Augustyn actually goes into the chantry for training, if he wants to fast track his training, there's a crazy thing that they could do, which is mentally dangerous, but it can instantly give him a new path of thaumaturgy, and you've already spent the experience points to get the first dots of conjuration and transmutation. So this is just waiting for like the role playing to happen.
Cool.
Darby, you have 8 points. What I remember was you're saving up points to get just crazy stuff.
Yeah, so it's 5 times current level for a discipline, in-clan discipline. Is that right?
Yes. So it'd be 15 for your 4th dot of fortitude, if that's what you're thinking of.
I think that's what I'm saving up. And my ultimate goal, I don't know if I'll get it in under the wire of the campaign, but my ultimate goal is to get the elder level of fortitude,
Personal
which
armor.
where people break their hands trying to punch Darby. That would just be the ultimate role-playing discipline for him to have. So that's my goal. I'm going to spend, I think I need like 35 total experience points or something insane to get even the 5th level done. And then, 6th level costs 25 all by itself.
All right. Brings us to Excavo, who has...
Oh, fuck me. It didn't come up,
I'm not spending my points.
but my character sheet does not reflect this accurately. I have 6 strength all the time. Like, I saved up 1 million experience points to buy my 6th dot of strength, and there's not enough room on my character sheet for that. I didn't use strength in any rolls. It was all dex stuff today, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think it's that. Maybe 1 for my tackle, but I succeeded on that anyway. It didn't matter.
So would you rather say that you spent a point of blood to raise your strength to 7 for the rest of the scene, or you saved that point of blood?
I think strategic retcon, it'd probably be better for me to have saved that point of blood.
Okay. You did say that you wanted it to bring it up to 6.
I wanted it to be 6. I declared it to be 6. I really wish it looked like it was 6 on my character sheet. It's pretty frustrating that I can't show that.
And what do we think about this session?
I thought it was great. Return to form.
There's a lot Archibald's going to need to be filled in on when he wakes up.
Yeah, Blake, you missed some stuff.
I feel like I need to think of a creative way to justify how I keep committing all these murders, but just I'm fine. Just fucking peachy.
Well, I honestly think, and I don't know, I don't really think there's much in-game consequence to this. You should just be on your own morality path, where plants are more important than people. Because you are, like plants and animals, you are like more kind and considerate and thoughtful to plants and animals than you are to human beings. And you've consistently played it that way since the very beginning of the game, which makes me feel like you do have a path of morality that you care about. It's just not humanity.
I do have to say, I don't remember all the mechanics of this because I assumed it wouldn't come up in this game, but if your character is not on the path of humanity, there are mechanical differences. You are, if you're not on a path of humanity, you are like a much more alien being, not just psychologically, but also physically. I think you don't get any of the benefits of like mostly looking like a normal person if your humanity is high. I think if you're on a different path, you don't even get an option to roll to like counteract someone trying to like figure out if you're a vampire. I can look up the specifics, but what
that sounds worse.
Yeah, it would be, I think, a bad move for Augustyn. It's something Augustyn could do if he wants to, in order to maintain control over himself and keep his his path rating high. It's a transformation that he could undergo, but that should represent like he becomes fully like alien, which I think it's fair to say Augustyn was already like halfway there. But there would also be the pros would be if his morality path aligns with his behavior, it would make it easier to not lose like his path rating and get closer to like losing control over himself. That morality might also become annoying. Like usually alternate
he dominates those rolls every time. Like he's still at 6 humanity after having to roll. I mean, you've killed what? 7, 8 people just in cold blood throughout the course of the campaign. Like not that they've attacked you first. Just like you've initiated murdering them. It requires a humanity check. And you've succeeded every single time. And it's never even been close. You're just like, oh, yeah, I feel kind of bad about that. Anyway.
It's true.
I don't want to recommend one course of action or the other, but if you stay on humanity, things will be more straightforward and simple, and you will be able to do more human stuff, like look human and relate to other humans.
Admittedly, I'll probably go ahead and stick with the humanity path and just think of a creative justification for the distortion of my personality internally that explains why I'm just fine with it.
It's almost just like a derangement.
Well, another way to explain how alternate morality paths are supposed to work, if you are a vampire that is around humans and interacts with humans, typically those are the ones on the path of humanity. If you're a vampire that's only in the vampiric community and you only interact with humans, if like humans are exclusively your prey or your slaves or your playthings or whatever. That is what vampires on alternate morality paths are like. It'd be difficult for you to exist psychologically in the world of humans and relate to them.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
Which might already describe what's the fuck's going on in Augustyn's head.
But no, yeah, I thought it was a great session, man. I enjoyed the rambunctiousness with which we were able to swan dive into the mayhem again. Yeah, a lot of fun. And of course, it's always fun when, your dice are rolling in your favor and you're able to do silly manic shit. But 10 out of 10. Thanks for rolling with it, man. That was a gas.
So, of course, you guys should be able to make all of your own decisions for your characters, but it should be pretty clear to everybody that there's a rough fight ahead, assuming everyone wants to stick around for it. There is still an alpha team that is expected to arrive at some point, and I don't think you guys know anything about who or what alpha team is. You haven't fully explored this basement. There could be other things lurking in the shadows, though Ovacxe did scan around on the security cameras and didn't see anyone moving around, obviously. It is possible that the next session will have a total party kill. That's not off the table. So just because there haven't been tremendous consequences yet doesn't mean that we're not set up for them in the next session. So I just want everyone to remember that like there are a lot of options other than just diving straight into combat. You can flee, all sorts of you
options. Tried to warn us, but Darby gonna Darby.
And Augustyn is just gonna do what he wants.
At any crisis, he's like, what's the
lot.
most fucked up thing I can do to solve this problem?
What's the worst way to enter a room?
What's the normal thing to do? And then what's the opposite of that?
Oh, I mean, I already know what my next moves are in the next session.
Oh.
I mean, Paddington's going to get a taste for blood, and I'm going to try and humble this pretentious Ficus.
and have an ally shambling around. What do you want to call this plant zombie corpse thing?
I need to think on it. I need a
Micus, the Ficus.
Micus.
Just imagining like a dangling name tag, Mike.
The guy is canonically named Mike.
Yes.
No,
hello, my name is
Mike S.
Micus. Mike S. Okay, I got
Mike
that now.
S. Mike S.
Cool. Well, that sounds like that's it. And we will see if we can resolve this fight in the next session.
Name of the episode, Mike S. the Ficus.
All right.
I love it. I love it.
Don't talk about Ficus Club. I don't know. There's a lot of options here. I think we could workshop this.
No, I think Mike S. the Ficus. I like that. That works. First idea, best idea.
All right. Until next time, let's do this more often. I am very available on Wednesdays. I can do this like anytime.
Hell yeah. Well, now I got my mobile rig set up too, so I can do this on the road pretty decently and not from my phone.
Yeah, that'll be hell yeah.
We'll talk about
options
as early as
Till next time.
Love you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, peace out.
See ya.